Hey, howdy party people. I want to make a really quick video here for you, just covering a couple of things that have come up on Twitter for Hytale recently, mostly from Simon. There was this video he kept teasing, talking about whether or not he was even going to be able to release it because a lot of the team didn't want to because it was apparently too disturbing. I know this was posted like yesterday or the day before, but I have not seen it. I don't know what it's about, but he was really like hyping this thing down, saying it's super dark, very disturbing. Life will never be the same. So I'm not comfortable posting the full video, but I figured I could share the second half, he says. I found this in the massive media archive I went through. You can make your guesses of what the first half was like based on the last ingredient. Please do not let the Chorks win. Okay, so probably someone's mutilating a Quebec, or God knows what else. We don't know a whole lot about what the Chorks' lifestyle is like, but given they're a combination of trolls and orcs, it's probably not so pretty. So I guess we'll just have a look and see what this 30-second clip has in store. It sounds like this is not something that they made recently. This is something that was already made and that Simon stumbled upon, so I can only imagine what he thought. So let's have a look. Okay. Dough, okay, pizza. My boy's drooling. Some sauce, some cheese, sure. Normal old pizza to me, cooking it in a brick oven. That's how you get that nice texture, you know? That nice little bit of flavor. Some garnish, some basil. Okay, so garnish. That's not basil, is it? Okay, that makes sense. So that's Quebec gore, is what that is. That looks kind of good though, you know. I mean, listen, I don't eat meat personally, but you know, there's no meat here, right? Like, I mean, is it gore if it's the Quebec equivalent of hair? Are leaves a part of their body, or are they more of like well, like a garnish, I guess, like an anatomical garnish? That is pretty disturbing, though. That I am curious what the first half of that was. Well, I'm not that curious actually, but I'm a little curious. I think we all are. Interesting, very interesting. So there you have it. Some Quebec gore for all of you that are into mutilating Quebecs. I guess that fills your niche. Next up, we have somebody by the name of Fish, or Felinus Fish, asking Simon, so, about the zones, tell us more, eye emoji. The wiki is aching to learn more. Simon responds to this. Simon says the following. Zones are being reviewed this week for several reasons. The team successfully got Infinite Worlds working properly with World Gen V1 just a few days ago. We need to complete a tuning/configuration pass and we should be ready to launch with it. I tested today and spent a few hours flying around and having fun finding happy little accidents. This changes a lot. Every playthrough will be vastly different, so we want to make sure gameplay-wise it's still balanced and that we don't have any issues where some zones near spawn are too small, etc. Right now, the tech can verify that Zone 1 is large enough to spawn the player, but we want to make sure that Zones 2, 3, and 4 are okay. Maybe it's fine if sometimes they're small, as the world is infinite, you could still travel to see bigger ones anyway. That said, we need to lock in the zone names instead of using Zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. The names shouldn't change much from what the public knows, but maybe a tiny bit to clarify and avoid confusion with regions, biomes, names. We'll confirm this week. A user by the name of Ridge, or Ridge_XR, asks, will Hytale do a central spawn continent on launch? I remember you mentioning this before. I really liked that idea and definitely find it more interesting than just a fully infinite world. Simon says, trying to replicate this a bit with the infinite world, it's a pick your poison type of challenge, lol. Ridge responds, what if there was a continent and around it an ocean, outside that an infinitely generating world? Best of both worlds, perhaps? Simon says yes, but no time to perfect that tech in time before launch. Therefore, we'll try to make it work, and Ridge says, awesome, thanks for the clarification. Now, what confuses me about this is that I was initially under the impression that was the idea around World Gen as it stood before. And Simon's original post here saying that that's what they got working, or at least, you know, working well enough for now. I understood that to mean that's what they had accomplished. So I'm not sure what kind of an infinite world Simon is saying they've accomplished, but I guess one without that layer of ocean where you still start in zone 1 and you have the other zones around you, but they just kind of continue and change and vary the further out you go. So that's interesting to know that's more what we're looking at now. I suppose this means we'll probably not have deep oceans at all for the time being, but I would have to imagine we have oceans on some level, right? I know they're not finished or fully, flushed out, but I would assume they're present in some capacity. Canadian Flash asks, can you clarify what you mean by spawn? I thought we didn't start in Orbis. Simon says, read the image I sent you, Echoes of Orbis. You can go look at Canadian Flash's recent video with exclusive Simon information if you want to see what they're talking about there. Canadian Flash asks, can you all release more concept art on the website? And Simon says, less concept, more game. Fair enough. I would love to see more concept art someday. Maybe even an art book would be a cool thing to have as a physical Hytale item, once a few years have passed. But, hey, I'm sure we'll get it eventually. It's no rush. We just got to make sure the game is, good. So I'm glad they're doing just that. Hawkon, another creator, says Emerald Grove, Howling Sands, Borea, and Devastated Lands are all pretty good. These are the current names of the zones as we know them. These are the ones that Simon is saying may change at some point, just a little bit, just to clarify things and again avoid overlap with certain biomes in the game. Asan says Zone 3 could use a different name, but others are perfect. I understand that. I think Borea, being one word instead of two, it seems a little out of the existing vibe, the existing pattern of the format. But, I think Borea is, still a fine name. It's just, it does stand out a little bit. Simon says, I agree. Give ideas, boys, CC. And then he tags Canadian Flash, who is known as being the kind of the lore oracle around these parts. Canadian Flash responds, but I think Borea is the best because it plays off the Greek god Boreas. And then in quotes, Boreas is the Greek god of the cold north wind, storms of winter. He brings harsh winter weather and is known for his violent temper, end quote. And he says that could tie in nicely with the harsh environment in Zone 3 along with the Outlanders and Void creatures. This is true. This is a nice connection to make. Of course, boreal is an adjective you see a lot in real geography, but that is what it comes from. So, I think that's true. That's a good connection. I'm curious to find out what the file names do end up being, because Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4 sound like a little bit more like Half-Life, a little bit less like Hytale. But, I guess we'll find out when the game comes out, right? They'll probably have some specific names for them by then, and if not, I'm sure the community will come up with some and make them so commonly used that we have no choice but to call them that. Then in this next one, we see Simon saying, glad to see all the Hytale creators receiving strong support from their communities with creator codes. The future is looking great. Thank you everyone for supporting them throughout the years. If you want to be in our Hytale support creator program, please get in touch with us at creators@hytale.com. We may take a few days to reply as we are a small team, but we'll get to you as soon as possible. YouTubers, modders, map makers, artists, and streamers are welcome. So I just wanted to mention this in case you're watching this and you're a creator and you want to apply. That's the email you'd want to send a message to. It's a really cool program that they're doing. It's very nice to see for a game that is, obviously so young still. Obviously the community is very important to them, as it's the only reason that the game actually still exists, aside from, of course, Simon and his boundless wealth. I think it's a huge part of why this game is alive. And let's never forget the fact that we as a community pretty much bullied Simon into this whole thing, and we're all just lucky enough that he was willing to play along. Okay, the next and final thing is from Slikey, the technical director. New Hytale footage, kind of. Well, nerd video. I was asked to show how our GitHub looks using the Gorse visualization. Here it is. I wonder if you can see the part where it collapsed the 300 branches into a single new main branch. Enjoy. This is very technical. This is, as he says, a nerd video, but I thought I would share it because it looks interesting. Alright, now up at the very top, this is the very first frame of the video. You'll notice it says Thursday, the 10th of March, 2016, 8:07:59. So this is the moment that, as far as GitHub is concerned, that Hytale was born. So I just think that's kind of cool to see. I mean, 2016, that is such a long time ago. I believe concepting started in 2015, but development itself started in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. So, let's give it a look. Alright. So as you can see, it's a, I don't know, I think this is the skill tree in Path of Exile 2, is it not? Or maybe I'm thinking of Divinity. If I'm not mistaken, this is also what the first part of Spore looked like. Or, as I said in a reply to this, pretty much any sci-fi space battle where there's just differently colored lasers firing in every direction and you're just supposed to know what's happening. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. As you can see, there's still just little things flying to and fro and just lasers everywhere, but the overall structure does change a little bit. This is a really interesting little tool that somebody came up with. So now we're in 2019. This is the summer of 2019. This is a little bit, you know, this is about half a year after the trailer. It's pretty different. Oh, look at that, a whole new limb. And another one. And then another one leaves. It's pretty interesting. I can't say I understand this, but it is really cool. It's cool to see, you know, just how fast this was happening. I mean, you can watch up at the top the date changing. It's a lot. It's a lot of branches. Here we are in 2021, October. I believe this would be after the new engine, wouldn't it? December of 22. I don't think anything is... Oh, nope. Something going on at the bottom there. I was gonna say I didn't think anything was happening. So I don't know if this GitHub was active during the riot years, but you know, I see stuff happening at the bottom at least. So who knows, maybe they're using the documentation from the GitHub, but not necessarily the development or the code. I see even less of that in 2024. Now there's apparently nothing happening, but it is lighting up in some spots. I don't know if that's just like a cosmetic effect. Oh, for a couple lines. Now we're in September of 2025. Gonna watch some big things happen here, I think. And now it's October. Watch carefully now. Things look like they're starting to happen. It looks like this visualizer is lagging out a little bit, so that should tell you something. Whoa! Oh my god! Oh, it's like getting a big old uppercut from the Hulk. Jesus! Look at that. It is a completely different structure. Oh, it's like life just flashed right back into existence in a whole new way. That is incredible. Look how different it looks. All of this at once. It's pretty remarkable. And here we're at the 12th of December. We're almost caught up. Today's the 15th as a recording. And all those lasers are back. Just as the game is. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting couple of little things. I just wanted to make a quick video covering them. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.